that was a nice show, everybody.
It was a nice show, man. We talked for like 2 or 3 hours, man. That was a pretty good show. Now we ain't got nothing to talk about now.
Yep. Nice knowing you guys. Bye.
This was so much fun.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hello,
guys.
everybody.
Hello.
People's
All
like,
right,
what
guys.
the hell?
Welcome to Hunters Hangout. This is season 4, episode 12, and we got an exciting panel. Whether they're going to talk or not, I have no idea. I think they're all talking out from the pre-chat. The pre-chat pretty much wore them out, so. But we're going to go over all the prizes, and Julie's going to put up the picture of what you guys can win today.
Okay, did I put it up? Yes, I did.
All right, first off, we have 1 gallon of frog juice from Foggy's Fog.
I'm glad you did that.
We have not 1, but 2 crackers from Fright Props. And we have 2 makeup kits from I Love FX Makeup. We have 1 Hunt shirts from Hunt Shirt. All right, 1 shirt from Hunt Shirt.
There you go.
I didn't know if anybody else caught that.
Right.
I caught it. I wasn't going to say nothing.
Well, it's a Hunt shirt. It's a Hunt shirt from Hunt Shirt.
You were going to say anything, so you just started laughing.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes.
And we have 1 fucked up new host from Hunters Hangout. Okay, we have 1 mask from Face Factory Effects. We have 1 Spine Chiller soundtrack from Sam Haynes. And make sure you guys, whenever you go to the store and you're going to buy some Halloween stuff or anything Halloween and you build or whatever, you go to our sponsors first to buy everything you need because they are our sponsors and they're giving away stuff for free. So that's what you do. Now we're going to hand it over to Dan Dobble, the...
I think that's Dobble.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I
That's
mispronounce
all right.
that? Did I mispronounce that? Sorry, from the Hunters Hangout host.
I always thought it was Dan Dribble.
Dribble, dabble, double, double, whatever you guys want to call me. It doesn't
Double
matter.
trouble.
Double. Oh, well, yeah, I don't know about that. Well, I want to say thank you to everybody. We have got. I'm humbled to see all of the home haunters that I get to be a host for here. This is crazy. I mean, these are all I would say majority. There's 1 couple here, Ron and Lori, that I'm not familiar with. However, I did do some research on in the last couple weeks, and I have to say you guys have pretty badass haunt.
Thanks.
Pretty badass haunt. But to get right to the beginning here, I guess we'll start with Don and Mary.
No, you're going to start with introducing Brad and Julie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that.
Dan, just so you know how it works, every show needs a good foundation, and introducing me is the foundation of every show.
All right. Well, I'd like to start by introducing Brad. Brad
Hello,
is
everybody.
The backbone, the foundation of this wonderful show. Then there's Julie, of course, logistics.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Of course, we have to say thank you to Diablo.
We do?
We do?
You don't have to.
Oh, yes, at least I do, you know. Is there anybody else I need to introduce before I get into the fun part?
No, you're good.
Am I good?
We've had our egos stroked. So now
Okay,
you can move on to the...
Okay, good. So I wanted to start off by talking about the who, the what, and the where of who we've got on here. I mean, there is some awesome haunters that are on tonight, and and I know all of them inside and out now. For the last 2 weeks, I've been catching up on all the YouTube videos that I haven't been catching up on. So we'll start with Don and Mary. Don and Mary, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Don.
I'm Mary.
And we are from Goth Gloom
Spookhouse.
Spookhouse.
Wow.
Oh my
That was
God.
well done, guys.
Yes.
You guys are
Yeah.
Now, you guys are out of Texas, correct?
That is
Correct.
correct. We are in Round Rock, Texas,
Awesome.
which is just about 10 miles north of Austin, Texas.
Awesome. Now, what is your haunt all about?
What is it about?
We do different themes every year. The last couple of years, we've kept the same theme. We've kind of started working on a backstory. This year, it's a little bit deeper into the backstory. We've got pretty much right now we're doing the hotel theme.
Yeah.
We've done that the last couple of years. We've done different themes before.
Yeah, we originated in California. We spent I don't know how many years in California haunting at my parents' house
Since 1991.
since 1991, and then haunting at our good friend, which is also our neighbor, Greg Winslow's house, who's also part of our group. He's the tech guy behind the Goth Gloom Spookhouse.
That's
And,
Greg back there behind Dawn on the right.
Yeah, this is Greg right here. Say hi, Greg.
He's shy.
He's
So,
waving, so that's good.
Waving.
so when we moved to Texas, we just, we kind of started off real small with just a simple walk-by haunt in our garage, and that went over pretty well. So we decided, let's go for the walkthrough. We hadn't had a walkthrough that we had designed of our own, at our own place where we could do anything we wanted to. So we started with the walkthroughs, and the first year we did the witches, and then the second year we did a clown haunt, and then the third year we did the haunted bedroom, kind of asylum kind of thing.
And we did the carnival type, yeah. So we've done a little bit of everything.
We did an Indiana Jones,
Temple of Doom type.
ruins of gloom haunt, which I wasn't sure that anybody was going to really like that one. I was kind of, when we were building it, I was like, I don't know if this is going to really work or not. And Mary kept on saying, build it. If you build it, they will come. And
Yes.
you guys really seemed to enjoy what we did with that one, and it was really hard to tear that one out. But I have a hard time keeping the same thing around. So it's kind of interesting for us because we have the hotel theme. And the reason we built the hotel was because we decided to build an elevator a couple of years ago. And then I had this stupid idea that we could build the elevator and we could then easily tear it down and store it in our storage shed. But it's not something you want to tear down and move around, so it's stayed right where it's at. It's still up to this day, and we basically use the idea that it's an elevator so we can always go to a new floor. So the hotel can change. It can still have the same theme. We can continue adding to the lobby and the elevator lobby and the elevator itself. I've got some ideas in mind to change that up from what it is right now to add more to it. And then the rest of the haunt we can basically change because we're on a different floor.
Right.
So,
that's perfect. No, I don't want to interrupt you or anything, but Dan was supposed to just introduce the people first.
Move on!
I was introducing and we got going, and I just kept going with it.
Everybody else was like, oh.
Diablo knows I'll talk all night. So
I think Dan started watching the show for a second.
Like, wow, this is good.
moving on.
Oh wait, I gotta host.
Dan was like, shit, I ain't gotta do nothing. This is awesome.
Oh my
All right,
God.
I'm gonna move along here. Next we have Kristy and SK from the Haunting Grounds.
Kristy.
No, I'm Kristy.
Oh.
Where
She's the boss. Don't listen to her. I'm just here for the prizes.
Where are you guys located?
Here, right here.
Is it in the basement?
No, in the dining room. We're in upstate New York, near abouts Albany area, where it's cold,
Yeah, it's 50 degrees
but
now.
not as cold as Dan Dole's heart.
No, it's right here.
I mean home.
All right, I'm going to move on here. The next guest we have tonight is Ron and Lori, and I'm going to totally butcher your last name.
Try.
Guerrilla?
Oh, well, not even close.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Dude, that was not even close if you tried to sound it out.
Gustinella?
Gustinella.
Gustinella?
Did you say gorilla?
That's what I said. It's the
Yeah, that's a new
gorillas.
pronunciation.
Yes.
I have never heard that one. I teach 6th grade, and even they got closer than that.
Well, see that, Dan? I guess you're not smarter than the 6th grader.
Well, you know.
Oh, damn.
Oh, man.
That's funny.
I told you I was going to butcher it.
Oh, you're
Not
honest.
fair warning. Yeah.
You guys are out of Texas too, correct?
Yeah, we're in South Austin.
Right.
Now, are you close to anybody else that's in Texas? That's a hunter? Are we talking?
So they're basically up north and east.
Round
Right?
Rock's north.
Yeah.
North.
Yeah, north from here, but they're not that far away.
And then there's a guy down in Buda too who does a pretty good haunt.
Right.
Yeah, so we have a few around us.
That's cool. And you guys have what's the name of your haunt?
It's Restless Hollow, and it's a Western themed haunt.
Okay. Now is that a walkthrough haunt or is that a?
It's a display haunt.
It's display and then a shooting gallery.
Yeah, it's like a kind of display interactive, but not a walkthrough.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then of course we have Steve from Steve's Haunted Yard.
Hello, everyone. I'm Steve from Steve's Haunted Yard, and I'm a haunter.
Hello, Steve from Steve's Haunted Yard.
That's the first step, Steve. You admitted.
Hey, Dan, I
Dan,
want to say I was excited when I saw that you were a host because you're awesome.
Oh wow! Come on now.
There you go.
Come on now. I have to say,
He
that
wants
when
more
I saw that
airtime.
you were one of the guests that was going to be on the show, I got a little nervous.
What?
Not gonna lie.
So nervous that he wanted to skip right past introducing me and start talking.
Hey, that's how I roll, right? All right, can I jump into fun questions now that everybody's introduced?
There you go. Yeah,
Can I?
You're good now.
Yes?
Yeah, you do what you're the host, man. You do what you want to do, man.
I did, but then you told me I was doing it wrong.
I have to
Well, you
I
gotta
have to tell you, Dan, one of my favorite things every week is everybody keeps inventing new drinking games for every show, which is great. So far, the favorite tonight is from Nate Dingman. Every time Dan fucks up, drink.
Give me some drunk motherfuckers in there.
Oh God!
That's fucking awesome. I'm already out.
So now that we filled you with confidence, let's go.
Now we just crushed your confidence. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, it is what it is. So I'm gonna jump back to Gothgloom because I'm intrigued by how you guys do it and with the hotel theme and everything. And now that you've kind of jumped out and told us that the elevator goes to different floors, do you just leave up the elevator and then everything else comes down? Is that how that works?
Actually, what we've done is pretty much left the entire thing as it is, the walls and everything, because it's all, it's all built in and stuff. I was going to originally take it down and restructure it, but so far we haven't done that. At some point, if we continue with the hotel theme, we will need to do that to change the floor plan, but we've got one more trick up our sleeve where we can change the entire path if we do like a 4-foot extension or a 2-foot extension minimum, so we can flip them around the end wall and take them another way. So we're toying with the idea of doing that. We'll have to see how the rest of the year goes. No promises.
Did when you came up with the hotel theme, was there a single prop other than the elevator that made you want to do a hotel, or was it just, hey, I want to try something different?
I think it's our love of the Haunted Mansion, really.
Yeah.
Is it?
We've always loved the Haunted Mansion.
And I know it's not a hotel, but it gave us an opportunity to do something that we kind of could play with, you know, our version of the Haunted Mansion with the entrance and all that kind of stuff, and kind of put some of those elements into it and everything. And we were kind of running out. I know this question comes up about storage, okay? We have a storage facility that is cram-packed full. It's overflowing into Greg's storage facility. We've got crap all through the house. If you come visit us, you'll see stuff all through the house, and in our shed is packed. So it became the necessity, because we don't want to throw anything away. Yes, the attic. We don't want to throw anything away, so we had to stop changing everything up so much. So this allowed us to be able to still change things, but not change the entire haunt out.
Right, and most of the time you just pretty much just leave your haunt up.
The haunt has been left up. Yes,
Right.
we're kind of cheating that way right now.
That's because you suck at videos, so you have all year to do it.
Hey, in my defense, you can't say I had that video up by the first of the year this year.
Oh yeah, we were impressed with that. We're like, whoa, shit! It's not.
So does that mean
2017.
does that mean you're not going to be editing video when you come up here, Don?
I don't know. Will I be taking video?
Now he's going
That's
to probably
the real
make
question.
video just to do that.
Right.
A question about the elevator we've already had from Jesse Anderson. How do you make the elevator appear to be moving? For those who didn't see it in the videos as they were working on it.
Well, Don and I basically built kind of like Star Wars version of, we built our own model elevator. Don had the idea after building the model elevator that we filmed it with GoPro cameras so that we could get an elevator shaft movement in regards to 2 screens on the top and on the back side of the elevator. And then the boys built the elevator after. Go ahead.
Well, it's got airbags on it, so it does move up and down. So in a sense, it does move. You feel it when you're in it. It does actually go up and down. It's only up and down about 8 inches, but when you combine the feeling of the hydraulics with the video, not only on the wall but also on the ceiling, because we did a ceiling shot. That's why we made that little elevator shaft, because I wanted to be able to put a GoPro on top of it and on the side and film it from 2 angles so we could sync the videos up and give you more of that feeling. Because I've seen people that's done things with it on the side, and that's cool. But I really wanted them to feel more immersed, and I noticed that once we put it on those ceiling, that really sells it. They really feel it. Those that pay attention.
Right.
Most people, honestly, they get in there
Are so scared they just close their eyes.
and they just want to get out of it. They don't even look at it that long. The people that look at it a long time, I'm very happy for. But it's not that, it's like anybody going through a haunt. You put all this detail into it, and they go through like this. And they don't
You put
see
your
it.
blinders
So
on, and you
people
only
that
see
didn't
6
it and
inches in
comment
front of
on
you.
it, it's much appreciated, to know that little bit of extra that we did, paid off. But hell, I sit in that thing and just ride it and ride it and ride it. So it's my toy, I love it.
Mike Ross wants to know how many people work your haunt, and Bobby Mitchelson wants to know how many people go through the haunt. That was for you, Don and Mary. Did you?
I think they lost our audio.
There we go.
Yep.
The cat came in. Sorry, guys. The cat came in and stepped on my
Why
mic.
is it always a cat? It's always the cat.
I gotta blame it on
You're
poor
not paying
Cassie.
attention to me.
Everybody, you don't, because that wasn't Dan's fault.
That was my fault. Drink, because Don screwed up.
Did you hear the questions, guys?
No.
No, sorry.
Okay, sorry. Mike Ross wants to know how many people.
Hold on. Wait.
Wait.
Hold on. Are you done, Dan?
I'm done. Because if I'm not done, then I fucked up, and everybody's got a drink. So.
Everybody's got a drink because no one can hear you over you smacking your lips on them chips, man.
All right, well, here we go, everybody.
Everybody drink. Everybody drink.
Okay, so the questions, 2 questions. Mike Ross. Ross wants to know how many people work your haunt, and Bobby Mitchelson wants to know how many people end up going through the haunt.
Generally, 3 people work the haunt.
3 to 4 people.
Me, Don, and Greg consistently. If we have extra people, we're lucky, but generally, most of the time, it's just us 3.
Yeah. Last year there was me, Mary, Greg, and we had our friend Teresa. The year before that, we were blessed. We had about 5 extra actors, actually 6 extra actors that showed up over 2 different nights, and we felt completely blessed because we had a full crew. But we actually ran it last year with 4 of us, and I never count on the actors because I never know if they're going to actually show up. It's the 3 of us are the ones that are invested the time into it. So.
And then we average between 2 nights anywhere from 4 to 600.
Yeah. The last couple of years, the last 2 years, I have not put out any advertising. The years before that, when we did Ruins of Gloom, you know, I hit every place and talked about it and everything. The last 2 years, because of the throughput with the elevator, that kind of slows things down. So I don't want to have like way too many people. So we didn't even advertise last year. I put 1 single sign on the end of our street, and that was it. So the people that came were from word of mouth. So
are you guys open 2 nights, like 2 Saturdays or Friday and Saturday? How do you guys do it?
We usually try and open the Saturday before and then Halloween night.
Yeah.
So depending on if it falls on a weekend, sometimes we'll do it the night before.
Yeah, I think it was Friday and Saturday this year. Last year, yeah.
Is there anybody else that does 2 nights, or is everybody else 1 night?
In our area, it's I don't know.
No, that was for the
panel. To the panel.
Everybody drink. Everybody drink.
I don't know.
That is for the panel. 1 night or 2, or are we open all night?
I do too.
Let me be more specific. Steve, Steve, when you have your haunted yard, are you open just on Halloween, or is it more than 1 night?
For the actual like fog and full effect, just Halloween. Okay. Now, of course, in the past, when I used to do my garage haunt, I would do 2 days like Dawn and Mary.
Okay.
I did do 3 nights one time where I did the day after Halloween because it was like Halloween was a Saturday. So I did like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I was miserable.
Yeah.
It was just too much.
Too much. Now, are you a fly solo haunter? Like, do you have actors that come and help you, or are you?
Each year's been completely different. Yeah. Now that I don't really do an actual haunt in the garage anymore, it's just a display. I don't really have any actors. But at one point, when my yard, I had my garage haunt. 1 year I had, I think almost 20 haunt actors.
Holy crap!
For the whole weekend. My daughter was in high school, and all her friends came, and it was insane. We had Q-line actors. We had everything. So. It was pretty awesome.
What are you gonna do with that '64 hearse?
Drive it. We took it to its first car show a couple weekends ago, and it was a big hit. There was actually a '58 hearse that was there that was fully renovated. That was for sale for like $28,000. But Julie actually wants to eventually put it into service and make it actually a hearse that you can rent. You can rent a classic hearse. Because there's really no place around here to do that. There's one in Fort Hood in Killeen that's an active hearse. That's like a 48 hearse.
Holy crap.
And it's an actual hearse that you can use for a funeral, and he said it stays rented out constantly. So,
do you have an end date for that to be completely restored, or is it just?
Man, I don't know if those things are ever done. The water pump just went out. It has a generator on it, not an alternator, and the generator's not generating, and a couple of other things. But we'll get it there.
Cool. Do you have any props or anything that you're working on for your yard this year?
Hold on 1 second. I'm doing the show right now. Okay, good night. Good night. Kids are saying good night. Good night, sweetie pie. To everyone out there, I have 4 kids, and they're all going to bed right now. So.
Oh, girls.
Well, 1 boy. 3 girls, 1 boy.
Okay.
One that's out of the house that's 18. What was that last question?
Do you have any props that you're working on right now? What do you want to talk about?
Actually, I do not have any props I'm working on right now, but I have started planning, and I am super excited. I'm actually going to completely change up the haunt this year.
Well, that leads to a question. Steve Chandra, who wants to know, will this be an epic year for your haunt? What do you got planned?
I don't know about epic. Epic was when I had my garage haunt, and I had all those actors. But I want to change it up this year. I'm going to go more kind of pumpkin rodish. I want to do.
That'd be nice.
I want to do, corn stalks out the wazoo. Probably like a big shack without a pallets, like a witch shack with red lights coming out and fog, and it'll probably come to like a point to the facade that I made for the front of the house this year. That'll kind of be like a background focal point, and the horse-drawn hearse is going to be on the right side of the driveway this year, the small portion of the yard. And my goal is to actually make a full-size skeleton horse to put in front of the hearse this year.
Whoa, well, that's a big project right there.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody's going to complete it, it's going to be Steve.
Right.
Oh man, yeah. There's a buddy of mine that actually has been talking to me for years. He's a haunter. He doesn't post a whole lot of stuff, and his name is Zach, and he's kind of like, dude, you need a horse. And we've been talking back and forth, and I'm like, no way, man, that's crazy. I started looking it up on Pinterest, and there's a couple of really good ones out there, and they don't look super hard to make because it's really just plywood, jigsawed out into the shape, and then you put it all together. So I'm going to definitely try it and see how it comes out, because I think it'll be cool to have a horse in front of the hearse.
Whenever I do something like that, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you're going to do a horse or you're going to do a skeleton that goes in a certain place, you always sit there and say, oh shit, I want to make another one, but I'm not going to go through that shit again.
Yeah.
So I think when you start building it, make one of each. Like 1 rib, make 2 ribs. With 3 ribs, because you always want an extra one, and you're like, I'm not going to go through that again. Get it?
Now, I mean, I can't imagine anyone who's watching this show has not seen Steve's YouTube channel, and because he's had some pretty epic haunts in the past. We had a question from Doug Cox. Of all the haunts that you've done, what was the favorite scene that you did yet so far?
Oh man, the clown haunt was the funnest by far.
They are fun, ain't they? They are fun.
I mean, the sky's the limit, and it's like the lighting can be crazy. It was just the most fun haunt. Every time I made a prop, it was just like, oh my god, this is awesome. It's just, I don't know, it was just fun, and people are really freaked out by clowns. Like, some people don't even know they're freaked out by clowns until you have a clown haunt. But that was by far my very, very favorite haunt that I've done. So
that's cool. All right, we want to come back, and who's next, Dan?
Steve.
No,
we just did Steve.
We did him.
Everybody drink.
Drink.
Everybody drink.
SK. We'll go to SK. SK and Kristy.
Hi.
Hi.
You start.
So, what do you want? I'm sorry. Just ask
So
question.
do you guys do a yard haunt, or is it a walkthrough?
Well, right now it's kind of a yard haunt, or should we say driveway haunt? Part driveway, part yard.
It's a property haunt.
Yeah, there we go.
Don't start confusing everybody, because there's
I think our
categories that we all go by. Don't come up with a new category.
where a lot of people have, you know, their yard haunts, or you know, they build their haunts, or they, like Don and Mary, have their themes that they go through. I think the haunt is more an outlet for my creative muses. I like to build stuff. I like to build shit. And
Yes.
He's got muses. Go figure.
So what's the theme? For those that don't know what the Haunting Grounds is all about, would it safe to say that it's a cemetery theme?
Pretty much. I mean, we've expanded from the cemetery theme to incorporate, you know, the cornfield, and sometimes I move things around to try and make it different every year. But you know, we have our witch area, and we have our cornfield area, and we have our cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit of everything,
and growing.
And yeah, we've been talking about, because I have an enormous driveway. I can park 10 cars in my driveway.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
So we have the space to actually build a good-sized walkthrough, and we've been tossing around doing it. The only part that I don't like about the whole thing is the fact that if you look out my front driveway, the building inspector's office overlooks my driveway.
Ooh.
So I was waiting, you know, while we were building the facade 2 years ago, I was really waiting for him to come banging on my door, because he's not a friendly guy either.
Oh, that's
that's even worse.
Mm-hmm.
But he left us alone, so I'm hoping that we can.
You need to have some barbecues, man. Have some barbecues and invite him over.
No, you know what? He's not the type of person I want at my barbecue.
I know, but
he's just that much of an asshole.
Bite the bullet, man. Bite the bullet.
Yeah,
I dealt with him once.
SK, I think you fundamentally don't understand the nature of a bribe. You don't have to.
I think this guy strives to be difficult. I think it's just in his nature. He's that much of an asshole, and you can't talk to him. You really can't. You can't rationalize anything with him.
We have a question here. We have a question here from SK's building inspector. He's one of
I like to steak.
But no, so I think really we just kind of keep trying to expand on what we've been doing, and that may change. We have some thoughts and ideas that we're tossing around, you know, making a big drastic change, and we'll have to see.
Mike Ross wants to know, SK, how's your witch coming?
Frequently.
Whoa.
She is. She's making some progress, but I'm kind of. I haven't been doing the workshop.
Did you shave her? Did you shave her yet?
Still gotta shave her.
He hasn't got to that point yet.
Can't wait to see the shaving video.
Yeah, no. I've been working a little bit here and there on it, but I want to make some progress before I do any more videos on that, and I kind of set that aside this past week so that we could get finished that Death's Head tombstone that I've been working on for like 4 years.
I got a question for you guys. That guy, that dude in the background there, feels like he's looking at me. Tell me the story about that guy. He looks really cool.
That guy, that's my gravedigger, and he's been repurposed now as you know. I took his shovel and his lantern and gave him a hatchet and a head. So, but that was my first full-bodied static prop, I think, ever. And he's made out of like 2x4s and a little bit of paper mache and a whole lot of latex and cotton.
Very nice.
Very nice.
For Kristy and SK, what's your favorite prop made to date, and how long did it take to complete? You can both answer that, because you both do your own things, right?
And I've got to dig them out of their boxes. My favorite was my.
Don't say it. No, I'm joking.
My singing pumpkins.
Oh, okay.
And the bride and groom.
Yep. And you know what? I'd have to say that my favorite to date has to be the facade.
Yeah,
I had so much fun building that, and Cody and I worked a lot together on that, and Bryce helped out a little bit here and there, so it was good family time building that too. And I think we all had a lot of fun with it, and it came out great. I love the thing. And
facades are fun to build, man.
they are, and
oh my god, yeah.
the fact that I can put it up in my dining room kicks ass.
Yeah.
Question for SK and Kristy. Ever thought of going into Pneumatics from Christopher Presley?
Well, a couple years ago, I won a pneumatic spitter where it pops up and it spits at Midwest.
It's called Speeder.
Not a
Speeder.
speeder, it's a speeder.
Speeder. I got speeders all over the place.
And I haven't had a chance to play with it yet, but yeah, I would like to.
See, I was really hoping that I wasn't going to get beat out by the Davis Graveyard last year, and I would have won a really cool pneumatic prize package from Haunting FX. But that didn't happen. But yeah, we have tossed around playing with pneumatics, and I'd like to get into it. I'd like to expand my horizons. So
I got to teach him how to do a 3-axis skull. Still.
Yeah, I've never even built a 3-axis skull.
Kristy, what do you have planned for this year?
Well,
I know there's stuff coming in the mail.
She's been given a deadline.
A deadline?
Oh man, hunters don't have them.
It's October 31st.
Said August?
That's a deadline.
What has to be done by August?
I believe Madame Leota.
Yeah.
Holy shit, really? That's
That's still not done either.
That's been so long, I forgot about that damn thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got some parts last year, I think it was. I found a guy that makes the, what are those, ventriloquist dummies?
Mm-hmm.
He has the kits, and what he had set up was perfect. So I dropped the money on it and got the kit, and he hid it from me.
I did not. It's sitting downstairs in the basement.
Yeah,
The rest of all the electronics crap.
You packed it away.
Yeah.
She has been making slow progress on it, but she has dabbled with it here and there when she's not playing with soaps and sewing.
Hey, Kristy, it's time to put this one to rest. It's time to finish it. You know what I'm saying? It's been like 6 years. So
yeah, I think it was terrible when I moved up here.
It's time to maybe 1 week just bunker down and do it. It's time.
I don't have Mark giving me hell on video chat. You ain't gonna get it done, and all of a sudden I had the eyes blinking.
All right, well, I'll get a hold of Mark and and we'll get that going. But
yeah.
But we're gonna come back, and then after this, we got to go through Ron and them. Then we're gonna come back through and go through everybody's pictures. And Dan, who do we got next?
We got Ron and Lori, and I'm not saying their last name.
No. Ron and Lori who?
Ron and Lori.
I think Gorilla is good enough. I think they should.
It's Restless Hollow. Here's the Restless Hollow.
Right, there you go.
So that's a drink, though, for everybody out there.
Let's drink for Ron and Lori Salmonella.
Well, every school I'm at, I become Miss G. Just Miss G. That's it.
There
And
it is.
even the principals and stuff don't know my real name, so they'll call for a recommendation. They're like, Gustinella. Oh, Miss G. Yeah, okay. I'm like, although we have 2 boys. We name them Tony and Vinny, so we're trying to get an Italian mafia going on. That's our plan.
I smell a new haunt theme.
That would be pretty awesome. They could be little mobsters. Oh my god.
So how did you guys? Speaking of haunt theme, how did you guys come up with the Western theme?
Our neighborhood, we live on a street called Shootout, And then we're on the corner of Shootout and Gunfight, and my parents live on Boot Hill, and the whole subdivision is Western themed, so it kind of lended itself to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is. Although we're kind of talking about possibly moving, so then we don't know if we have to change the theme since we no longer would have to.
So you're gonna go off of like the street theme then?
We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dude, go across the grain, man. Go across the grain. That's what I'm talking about. be that one person. That's what I am.
So go ahead.
Oh, Donald Garza wants to know, to start off, you can describe your haunt. How big is your haunt, and do your neighbors like it?
Our neighbors are awesome. That's one reason we're not sure about moving. Because they all come over, and actually our cul-de-sac does their entire trick-or-treating on our yard.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, everybody kind of just comes and hangs out, and that's really cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. And it's gotten pretty big now.
Yeah, it's just in our front yard, in our driveway now, I guess.
And garage.
And our yard's probably about like 30 by 35 feet, and it's all basically just right in there. So
yeah, it's all connected, and then this year it expanded, mostly him because of the little ones. He did a shooting gallery, so we had an interactive laser-centered shooting gallery where like props would move when you shot stuff. So that was pretty cool this year. We made it very interactive.
Tell us a little bit more about that, because that was really intriguing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where like I love those things as a kid. You know, you go to the arcade and they have the ones where you shoot everything. And I think we were just like tossing around ideas on different props that we could do, and we were talking about that. You know, that would be really, really awesome. So I just kind of started looking up, like researching these things and how they work, and you know what the different things are. And I'm a programmer. That's what I do for my work. So it's kind of I like to tinker around with stuff. So just kind of like started looking into it, getting ideas online, and then started learning about all the electronics because I had no idea how to do pretty much anything. I knew I could do programming, but I couldn't do like electronic stuff. So just
we figured it out, Ron.
We did our research. We went to Cabela's and played their shooting gallery.
Yeah, I was like stalking shooting gallery.
We all totally hate you because we're like, oh, he's never gonna be able to do it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, programmer ain't want to, damn it.
Yeah, like, on the show, there's a long-standing tradition of like Diablo hating people who have things that he, like people who are haunt married and people who are in Texas. You guys have two of those, but you guys have one thing we hate that I'm smart enough how to figure shit like that out, because I would have no clue where to start.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty overwhelming.
I wasn't really sure for a while there if we're gonna be able to pull it off.
And really, we went to what's that antique show we went to? The big one.
Oh, there's a Round Top out here. They have a huge like antique week thing, and there's just like antiques everywhere. And so we went out there to find a lot of props.
That really helped because we were able to get like old pans and dishes.
Yeah, I could see Brad smiling when you said that, dude. It's like a big grin. You went to an antique shop. And
that's my favorite.
Stuff.
Oh, man,
it's huge. It goes for miles and miles. It's just everywhere.
It's awesome.
And Julie wants to go to that so bad. She keeps we gotta go to Round Top. We gotta go to Round Top.
It's awesome. It's totally worth it.
It's freaking awesome. It was so cool. But we did that, kind of got some ideas, and then this year we're trying to add more interactive stuff by adding a photo gallery. We'll have actually a computer that's set
like
up.
A photo booth kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But it would be a little bit of a twist on a normal one because we'd want to put a scare into it. So it would take like 2 pictures normal, and then something pops up or whatever, and then gets that scare picture at the end.
Yeah, and we want to make it so it emails to them and posts to our Facebook page with their
nice.
And then
I just realized there's only like one person I don't hate in this whole panel right here. And it's like SK and Kristy are the only ones that I like out of this whole panel. I just realized that now that I was like staring and like, it's fucking dude, Don and Mary and fucking hate fucking Steve. And
it is a lot.
Now I hate Ron.
This year's harder with a 4-month-old and a 2-year-old. It's taking way longer to do anything. Oh my god, it's insane. It's just stupid.
Darren Smith wants to know, Ron and Lori, do you have actors?
You're looking at him.
Yeah.
It's been, well, no, last
And
year,
your
my
dad-
dad
So
comes
you guys,
dressed up.
so you guys pay shit then, basically.
Oh, less than. Yeah, less than. My dad came, actually my friend Lisa came. We had a few last year who kind of helping out, and my dad loved the shooting gallery because he's a gun enthusiast, so he's showing all the kids how to properly aim. It was hilarious.
Oh, like it was that. It's always that one, right?
So he was in charge of the shooting booth.
How long have you guys been haunting?
5 years?
Yeah.
5 years.
It's been since we moved to Texas because we used to live in Albuquerque, and we literally had like 3 trick-or-treaters in our entire 3 years there, and they were like 18 years old with their babies in a stroller, so that was pretty much it ever. So
when you guys moved, was it like, okay, we're gonna build a haunt now, or was it, oh, maybe we should now that we've moved? I mean,
it was more like we missed Halloween because literally we had no one
Yeah, we
come
didn't
for
even
3
decorate
years.
because we were on a
didn't
busy
decorate.
road. It was like
Yeah.
the worst possible.
So we missed
yeah.
it. So then we started looking. We started with the cemetery.
yeah, watch out, watch your sound.
Watch a cat.
It started with a small cemetery in a rental house we were renting about a mile away. It was real small yards, a newer house, and then from there we did that 2 years there.
Yeah, 2 or 3
Kind
years.
of grew
and then,
it,
yeah.
and then now we have like giant facades that go up and every. Well, I keep trying to tell our neighbor to marry the art teacher at school because he'd be our neighbor and could help. We haven't met yet, but this is my plan.
Your whole grand scheme
That's my
here,
whole
yeah.
grand scheme is he's a very talented artist and get him moved in next door. If that happened, we can't move.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
nice.
that would
Dave
work.
Boston wants to know, Ron Roy, how long does it take to set up, especially with the shoot gallery?
Oh God.
Probably, we spent probably a month last time, right?
Yeah,
Getting
we
the whole
had
thing up.
we had a couple of our friends come and they
Yeah.
helped get the main.
To get all the
town up.
details, I'd say probably.
And then the
about-
wind knocked it down, and we
Right.
did it again.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
It took off a whole side of our bathhouse. We
Yeah,
had to go out there
took out
and
a
fix
whole-
it.
Oh,
The shooting gallery took a long time
Yeah.
to get set up. But
Yeah.
we started, about a month.
Yeah. All
How
together
long is
about
it?
a month.
How long does it take to come down? 2 days?
Yeah,
Not that bad. Yeah.
yeah, we got it
We
down
had it
pretty
down
fast.
quick. Yep.
Right.
We had to.
I'm still thinking like, oh my God, it took us a whole month to put it up, and I'm like, huh? Damn it, I hate you guys even more now. Like,
Harold Kine wants to know,
Oh, me?
Ron and Lori, did you know the Texas haunt community when you got started?
No.
No. No, not at all. We just looked online for ideas and started.
Pretty much the only thing we went on was like Halloween forum and haunt forum, and that was pretty much it.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then once we found YouTube, that's when we started learning about everybody else. which is pretty
Yeah, they
awesome.
won't come to a make and take.
We
need
want
to one of these days.
We like.
We don't know to because we have the kids, so we're like, but one of these days we got to do it.
You know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna have it at your house and show up.
That would be awesome.
that would-
Yeah. We'll talk about
Sounds
that.
good.
That would work. That would be awesome. Although
We'll
if
set
I
up
get-
the shooting gallery, and have some. Well,
Yeah,
never
there
mind.
you
I'm just. That would. Be,
We'll just walk up and go, "Hi, I'm Don. This is Mary. This is Steve, and we're having a haunter thing out here for Texas."
That'd be good.
I like it.
Well, when it gets hot enough, we have a pool. Yeah, pool party.
There you go. I'll put you on the list.
We always want to go. Every time there's something,
Yeah,
we're in the
something
car
comes
going, oh, "That was today," and
these
we're
days,
doing
yeah.
blah 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 blah. Yeah.
We're gonna make it.
Bob Qual wants to know, Ron and Lori, how scary are you willing to get? I assume they're talking about in your haunt.
Gore. Yeah.
We're not a real scary haunt.
Yeah, we try to keep it kind of family friendly. Not too scary. I mean, I'd like to add a little bit, like we were saying, like the photo booth, like a little scare, but we don't. We keep it pretty tame.
Yeah, really. Yeah, it's like a
It's more kind of like haunted mansion kind of a thing.
haunted-esque.
Yeah.
We don't have any blood or guts or gore.
Right. Yeah.
Our neighborhood is very, very young families. Most of our trick-or-treaters are probably in the four
Yeah,
to
they're
five
pretty young,
range,
so, yeah.
plus their parents.
So saying you don't want to scare the little ones? Nope. All right.
Now that we have to, now
All
we
right.
try to keep.
Fine.
But you know what? As they grow up, maybe like as the neighborhood grows up, maybe that will lend
Yeah,
itself to be a
Start
little more
stepping it
scary.
up.
Yeah, right now though, I mean we have kids who are shaking coming through, and it's like
I know,
seriously,
like,
dude,
really,
like
guys?
nothing's gonna scare you. Like you're fine. But, yeah,
Bruce
my sixth graders
Jansen-
found me last year. It was scary. That was scary.
Bruce Janzer wants to know, what's your most popular prop?
Well, last year it's a shooting gallery. Yeah, that's,
like
everybody wanted
especially the skeleton. He has a pneumatic where the skeleton pops up at you when you shoot it. So you shoot it.
So they had fun with that.
Like leaps up, and I think that was probably one of the most. That and the cat behind us.
Yeah, they love this cat. It's like one of the Target special cats that we got, and people love.
You
that
shoot
thing.
the target, and it goes like, meow, meow, and it's horribly annoying.
Oh yeah,
The
it's
kids loved
obnoxious.
it.
Yeah.
Keep wanting to cut its bone ears off.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, that and then just the size. I think of our facades, people are pretty.
Yeah, they like to check it all out and just kind of like look at all the
Yeah.
different stuff that we've got going on. So.
Yeah.
Do you guys dress up in costume?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you?
Yeah, I was super duper pregnant last year, so I wasn't. I was a big prairie girl. The baby was born 12 pounds, over 12 pounds. Like I was super duper pregnant.
He was a big prairie girl.
It was a huge. Yeah.
Oh my God.
This year I'm hoping to go more like saloon girl, but
Too
last year
bad
was
you
not.
could have timed the haunt with the, because that would have been scary.
Oh my God. Yeah.
This is how we did it in the West.
I used plenty of anesthesia.
Realistic screams ever.
All right.
We had an appointment. We went in. They cut that sucker out. We're good.
Oh,
He was
Lord.
measuring over 12. I was like, I'm good. You guys take him however you want to take him.
All right, now we're going to start with the pictures, and we're going to go through, and we're going to show 5 pictures to everybody's, and they're going to explain how they did it, and then we're going to come back and do another 5. Everybody drink. Everybody drink.
Where did these pictures pop up?
Whose pictures do you want to pop up? Who came first?
All right, let's do who was first.
Don and Mary.
Yeah. Drink.
Drink. Okay.
I'm gonna get drunk.
All right, let's do Don and Mary first.
All right.
That's a Diablo. That's a Diandoble. Oh, there we go.
So that's our graveyard.
Yep. Just basic graveyard.
All tombstones. They're all carved out of basically 2-inch
White foam.
white bead foam.
Yeah.
That I basically put 2 of those together, so they're 4 inches. The partial statue in the back, or in the middle there, she was all hand done, basically monster mud, chicken wire, and then the memory wall in the back, basically the 2 busts that are in that, or what's behind us right here. I made those, and me and Dawn actually did the facade for that.
Yep. That's supposed to be the first part of a multiple scene that we plan on expanding each year. We'll see.
And then the front of the garage has got the facade that was hand painted last year.
Yep.
Nice.
And that stays up for, it goes up right about the first weekend of October and stays up until the day after Halloween, and then it all comes down.
Okay, here's another one with the
So-
Gothglooms.
Yeah, that's just basically the side of the graveyard there on the left, and then our columns and our Gloom Manor sign that Mary carved out of foam. And
You could see the fence. That's all PVC and 1x2s.
yeah, just normal PVC fence and,
And
that
then
sort
the
of
columns are all built as well. So everything there is hand
We
painted.
did kind of expand. We raised the sides of the fence this year. On the sides, they were like the little 3 foot high. We actually made them almost 6 foot high this year.
Wow.
Yeah, so the ones going down the sides on either side are all 6 foot, and the rest of them are all 3.5
Yeah,
in the front.
a little more security because we
Yeah.
wanted to be able to put tombstones closer to spread it out more. So
Are you guys still going to do the header or the footer thing that you guys were talking about doing?
we were talking. Greg's roommate. Greg is our next door neighbor, who's also part of the haunt. His roommate thought of an idea of making some little foot bases. Kind of. He watched us set up the graveyard, and he thought it took us too long. Now, I personally enjoy setting up the fencing and everything, so I don't try to rush through that. I actually enjoy doing that, but because he thought it took too long, he was coming up with an idea like if we made these bases, then you could just stick the fence into it real quick. But the selling point of it was that we could, run wiring into it, run fog tubing through it and stuff, because we tend to run fog tubes down the center and the sides of the lawn to get the fog to spread out more and put holes in it like the drainage pipe and pump the fog down, and that seems to give us a really good fog all the way across. And the idea that we could hide those in bases, it's kind of appealing, but I think that's going to be too much of an expense for us this year.
Oh, yeah.
But it's something we might do down the road. Make them look like brick and all that kind of thing.
And this is a picture where you did all the lighting.
Yeah, that's
lighting, and there's a lot of foliage that was added to the graveyard to make it kind of creepier.
Yeah, we went over to Steve's graveyard, which you'll see, I'm sure, some pictures. And Steve just had like the most badass looking foliage all through his haunt, trees and stuff. And I came back and looked at ours, and it was like, that's what's missing. We need to add some foliage and some trees and stuff. So Mary went to town on that, and I think she did a really good job to kind of fill in those spaces in between where there wasn't tombstones and stuff, and make it look really good. I think this was our best looking graveyard so far in the last few years.
Yeah, the lighting was really nice.
Thank you. That's just a bunch of those little spots from Lowe's, those little LED spots that we bought, and I just put a bunch of gels on. They were all white ones. I just put a bunch of gels on them and played with the lighting and the gels and stuff.
Jesse Henderson wants to know, does your fog stay in the yard? Is there a secret to it?
If there's no wind, the fog does really good. But since we're outside, now the one thing I did do was we've got our fence panels. I can't think of it. I think it's called Cove something. It's this plastic stuff that you put on the bottom of like baseboards or something. I got a bunch of it at the Habitat store one time. It's about 4 inches thick or 4 inches wide and just real thin like rubber. It's black. And what we do is we screw that down to the bottom, and it was just something I tried to see, and it actually kind of retains that fog and kind of keeps it in without messing up the look of the graveyard, because the grass kind of grows up over it. But it does kind of hit that, and it'll go over that, but it takes a little more oomph to do it if the wind is perfectly still. Now, this past year, we had pretty still night the first night. The second night, I think it was a little windier. So if it's windy, it's a lost cause. It doesn't matter how much Greg fights it and tries to get that fog to look as good as he can. If the wind comes up, we're screwed.
Right, and then you guys are rolling inside here.
Yeah, this is the inside of the lobby.
This is the lobby. We made the Gothgloom Manor hotel sign.
Yeah,
and
that was a new addition.
The hotel to have an older feel to it.
Yeah.
So on the wall over there, you could see is the old-fashioned cubbies where the mail and the keys used to be kept. We got the little table lamp and our sign-in book. The walls were all hand-painted and stenciled. Yep. And then basically we just kind of cobwebbed the whole thing and kind of been adding to it the last couple of years.
Yeah, Kristy sent us that light one time. We opened up a box and that little light right there, with that little green shade.
I thought that looked familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Yep.
That's a familiar.
So that lights up the guest book. And the guest book, you can't really see the guest book really well, but the year that Tara came out and played with us, not last year, but the year before, she made that guest book up, and it's all detailed out and everything. It looks really cool.
What are your walls made out of? Is it just plywood? We
just use the Luan and 1x2.
But they're 2x4 framed behind there.
Yeah, some of it's there's some 2x4 framing that we stretch across the whole garage, and then we kind of build off of that and build it across the top. And then I use those Simpson tie anchors, the little L-shaped ones, and
Okay.
I physically just drill right down into the concrete and put those things in with a screw and screw them to the wall, and you can kick the hell out of the wall, and it's not going anywhere.
Because we found that when people really get scared, the haunt can shift.
Yeah. So it's something.
That's true.
Yeah, we've had years where before we started tying the walls down to the floor, they would actually shift anywhere from 4 to 6 inches because people would jump into the walls.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
if
think
we
I was
ever
there when
sell,
that happened one year.
Yeah.
if we ever sell the house, I'll have to do a complete redo on that whole garage floor because I don't know how many holes are on that floor. Drilling and screwing down angle brackets.
All right. How long is it taking you guys to do all the cobwebs in this? Like, I mean, every picture that we see is like super cobwebs, man. It's like
it takes me probably a day to do the cobwebbing here.
Jesse Anderson wanted to know how you guys do webs.
That's the Ghost Ride cobwebbing gun.
Mm-hmm.
Greg was generous and went and bought that at Transworld 2 years ago.
Yeah, I was with you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude,
I remember that.
That thing just works.
Because he saw me doing the cobwebs every year, and I was doing it the old-fashioned way with the regular glue gun and a fan, and or the air compressor, and it.
Yeah, we've
burned a
over
lot.
the years we have used the one that you put the propeller on, and you put the glue stuff with the drill and you spray it. We've used that. We've used the cobwebs you buy in the bag. We've used the cheaper web shooters, and they tend to jam up and stuff. This thing just worked, and I have to throw out the props to Bart Butler because when we went through the haunt house, I was looking at all of his webs and I was going, dude, how the hell did you make those things? And he showed me that gun and he said it's expensive, and I said, well, how long have those webs been there? And he's like, those have been there for a couple of years, and I can attest that the same webs that you're seeing in that picture, those are still there right now. If we go downstairs, those webs are there. And real spiders are going in and adding to it. So
Kids is the other side of the lobby.
Yeah, this is the other side of that cable. The kids, there's a bunch of kids that come walking by and they'll stop and look and they sit down and go, that's the scary house. And we have them convinced that we have this gigantic spider that stays in the haunt and makes all these webs. So
nice. All right, we're gonna come back to you guys, and we're gonna show the rest of your pictures. I mean, what we saw so far is that's fucking amazing.
That's awesome.
So,
thank you.
Dan,
let's move over to Steve.
We can't drink on that one. He did that pretty well.
I know. Hey, Dan, you trying to mess everybody up, dude?
And I can tell you that what you guys see in those pictures of Dawn and Mary's, it looks even better in person. So.
I bet.
Thanks, Steve. We didn't pay him to say that either.
Oh, no way. Hey, you guys don't need to.
Checks in the mail, brother.
I love you guys. But this was the first year. That's the facade that I built this last year for the front entryway of the house. I've always wanted to do a big facade, but the freaking house is big that we moved into to fit all these chitlins. So
how tall is that?
Oh man, well, 216-foot-ish, like
say that, yeah.
to the tip, because it's basically two 8-foot sheets, of foam going up. So it's pretty tall. The top piece I had to cut in two because it was too hard to put up there by myself. But it's built in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 6 pieces. The columns are a piece. The bottom half is 2 pieces right in the center, and then the top is 2 pieces.
How's the mailman like coming up?
Oh, our mailbox is actually a mile down the road, so.
Oh, is it? You got a big yard too.
Yeah. I wish. My yard's actually pretty dang small. It's about 15. It's about like 16 by 20 feet, something like that. I wish it were bigger, but yeah, that's the facade.
Is that freestanding, or do you have it tied to the house?
I built it to where it is literally so snug in between those bricks that I have to kind of use a mallet to wedge it in. And then I also added bracing on the backside, kind of like a angle brackets like this, and then I put weights on the bottom.
Okay.
So it's in there pretty good because we had some pretty bad storms, and that thing it didn't budge. So.
Can you talk a little bit about that door? Like the door on the facade. Is that like just a real door with a real in the middle of it? Or?
Well, that's my actual door to the house. That's behind.
Okay.
There's actually space behind the opening of the facade to where the door is behind it.
Oh, okay. New drinking game whenever Brad asks a dumbass question.
Okay, that's another drink.
No, that's okay.
Hey, you had to watch YouTube, Brad. I should have built it. Here's another picture.
This is just to the right of that facade.
That Brad don't know about. Go ahead.
That Brad doesn't know about. And
hey, is that a real window?
Video projection. I did a video projection.
We're sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. I did the video projection this year, and that was like the guy hanging himself, and it would go to different scenes. Little coffin there. That fountain is permanently in the garden. That's like a garden area right there. That's kind of bricked in garden, so that's like mulch all below there. So I usually kind of decorate that as a little scene. Yeah, that was a fun little scene to do this year. To the left of that coffin is the shovel, and that's actually a moving shovel prop. It has a reindeer motor, and it slowly moves left and right, like a ghost shovel, kind of moving on its own. And then to the right of the fountain, you can kind of see a skeleton there. He's on a windshield wiper motor, and he moves slowly left and right as well. So there's a little bit of movement in there as well, along with the video projection.
Mike Ross wants to know, Steve, do they help act in the haunt?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Mike Ross wants to know if your kids participate in the haunt.
No, not really act in the haunt. They still love trick-or-treating, and Julie is a huge kid at heart, and so she also doesn't want to miss out on trick-or-treating. So they actually go trick-or-treat, and then they come back and kind of help with what's going on. Otto is the youngest, and he had an absolute blast this year. I gave him the remote to the air cannon.
Oh, dude, that's like giving a kid candy right there.
Oh, my God, man. He was getting one person like 7 times. I'm like, hold back, buddy. Hold back.
You're wasting all the air, man. You're wasting the air.
Well, because when you exhaust the air, like at first it's like a really loud and then when it gets low, it's like, wah, wah.
Yeah.
I'm like, buddy, you're not scaring me anymore. Stop pushing the button. But,
nothing else is gonna run.
Yeah, as they get older, I think hopefully they'll get a little more into it once trick or treating season is kind of they're too cool for that,
Yeah, not if Julie's still watching them.
Oh man, yeah, she's probably still gonna pretend to go trick or treat.
Hey, here's the next picture. This is really nice, man. I love this.
Yeah. This is that's a pneumatic that I built that I changed up for this year. I took apart one of the Walgreens skeletons, and that's just the torso portion. I had the legs and everything kind of on the ground, and it was 2 separate pieces. So this skeleton portion would just jump up. His torso would jump up and come up over the fence a little bit. You can kind of see a little piece of the fence there on the right that's really close up in the picture. But yeah, he would lunge up at the people, and he basically just has how I corpsed him was I did a vlog on it, but it's basically just like the plastic corpsing with like the grocery bags from the store, cheesecloth, some creepy cloth, and some moss. I just layer it, so it's really nice and layered. So that got some people really good this year because I had it on a remote. Last year I had it on a step mat, what I had triggered for that prop, and this year they were looking for the step mat. They couldn't find it, so I was able to push it with a push button.
Sneaky
nice.
Now, Steve, how do you get the grass underneath your tombstones to look like real grass there? Sorry.
I grow grass.
Doug Cox wants to know.
Oh, wait, hold up. Hold up, drink. There's another one.
Well, that was on purpose. That was,
You know, there
Doug
actually
Goth-
wasn't a whole lot of grass in my yard, to be honest. It was mostly dead.
Oh, okay. Wants to know, love the lighting. What's your lighting strategy, and how do you make it work?
Oh, man.
Here's your hearse, man. That whole lighting setup is really nice.
Yeah, I try to layer, as you can see, like, you know, it's got the red in the background, and then I'll do some intermediate lighting, which is kind of like the highlight lighting inside the hearse. You can see the skeleton in there, and then I always want to change my lighting each year, and I'm like, okay, I don't want it to look like last year, but I always end up going back to the blue, which to me looks kind of like a moonlight, a creepy cemetery, and I'll change it. I'll go, okay, no, you know what? I did blue last year, and I'll change it, and I'm like, I don't like it. Well, going back to blue, but it's really, I probably mess with the lighting the whole month. I move crap around until it looks just right. I mean, it probably takes me the longest to do the lighting because I feel like I'm never happy with it.
Right. I mean, and then do you use spots or do you use any LEDs or anything like that, or what do you use?
I had a mix this year. I used those party bulbs, the little coil, energy efficient party bulbs. Those put out the best looking color and
You're
saturation.
shitting me. Really?
Because the spotlights tend to put like an actual circle or like a.
Right.
They circle stuff out. The spot party bulbs, they really put out a good light. The downside is they're not really meant for outside. So I usually have to buy some new ones every year because the moisture usually kills them after being outside for a while.
Yeah, small price to pay to make it look this good.
Yeah, because it puts light out in almost a 360-degree area because it's a light bulb. Whereas, like the spots, they just saturate it.
How did you light the coffin trailer or whatever you want to call that? How did
the hearse?
Yeah, the hearse.
On the inside?
Drink.
Drink again, man. I'm getting drunk till we get out there.
On the inside of it, I actually had like one of those. It was actually a spotlight in there, but it was one of those UV spots that was kind of new for this year.
Yeah,
so
I got some of them. Yeah.
Has this really cool. It has a cool glow to those, don't they?
Yeah, the picture lights up really cool.
Yeah, it has a cool glow, and then you can use it for like like broke off electrical wires too. They have
it kind of put a different tone inside the hearse.
Yeah.
It looked really cool. I just kind of tried it in there, but that's what I did for that. But like I said, I'm moving lights around a whole lot. So this is the above ground tomb I built a long time ago. It's actually on a wiper motor as well, and that lid opens and closes real slow. I think Dawn and Mary, when they came over, Dawn made fun of me because it squeaks real loud.
I could hear it when we got out of the truck. We were parked about a block and a half away, and I could hear this. And I was like, "What is that?" You know. And it was like we were over there. Yeah, I called Steve and I said, "Hey, we're gonna come over." And he's like, "Okay, I'll leave the lights on a little later," because it was like around almost 11 o'clock. So it was like dead quiet, and all you could hear was this squeak.
Dude, it's moving around like 100 pounds of concrete, dude.
That's right. That's right.
Come on.
But when I have all the music on and everything, all the action going, you can't really hear it. It blends in really well.
Yeah, it was quiet. That was the only thing that I could hear. You know.
I've never heard a reindeer motor squeak before. So.
No, it was the foam against the foam going back and forth squeaking.
Yeah, it's the foam rubbing against each other, and it was cool. Of course, everything's always wet in October. It seems like it rains like crazy here in October.
Yeah, here too.
Nicole Montre wants to know, Steve, do you use anything to slow down your wiper motor props?
No,
it's a reindeer motor.
No, that one's a wiper motor on that
one.
Oh,
was it?
Drink, Diablo.
Damn it.
Oh, it's just whenever anything fucks up, we drink. So that's way more dangerous.
Yeah, that works. No, I just changed the power supply out because you can sort of regulate it. Now they have those power supplies. I don't know where else. I found them at Walmart. I'm sure there are other places, but it actually has the different voltage settings on the power supply. And on the wiper motors, you can literally change the voltage setting, and it will slow down and speed up your wiper motor.
You know, I'm gonna just like you can go on eBay, and for $7 they have a wiper motor and they have a pot to where you can turn a knob and slow it down and do whatever speed
like
you
a
want.
dimmer switch.
Yeah, it's like a dimmer
lights
switch
at your house.
Yeah, and it's 4 wiper motors, and it's literally like $7 on eBay.
Yeah.
It's free shipping, so it's like you can get your wiper motor to go whatever speed you want.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways to do it, and of course the wiper motor itself has different settings on it, and depending on how you wire it up, can speed it up or slow it down. It's a wiper motor. You got slow, medium, fast. So
yeah, there you go. That's it right there.
Yeah.
Doug Cox wants to know: is the wiper motor loud? Is there?
Oh no, you can't hear them. You can't hear them at all.
It's just that wet foam.
Yeah.
Just the wet foam.
Just the wet foam.
Couldn't hear the motor at all.
Keith Johnson wants: sound system do you use? How's sound work in your hunt?
Just like a Pioneer, old school Pioneer receiver, like you would have in your house with the big stack speakers. They're just old school speakers, and I'll put them in that garden area, kind of where that fountain was. I put one speaker there, and then one on the other side of the garage, on the other end of the house, and I'll literally put a trash bag over them to keep them from getting wet. And then put camouflage netting over them, and they stay fine out there the whole month and don't get wet.
Nice. All right, we're gonna move on to some more pictures and
let's move to the haunting ground. Stephen Kristy.
Ooh, look at that pretty game.
Dude, that was smooth.
that is our cemetery this year. The new addition this year was the archway and the gates there, and that was like it was like an epiphany for me. I was sitting there watching videos on YouTube, and I came across the Sound of Silence, and it was playing to a portion of the movie The Watchmen, and as that video starts, it pans out of the cemetery and through a set of gates that looked very similar to that, and I was like, that is gorgeous. I want that. So I just started, I paused the video and I sat there looking at it, and I'm like, I can do this. So I started hunting down all the parts. I can't remember what is it, Formufit? I think I got a few of the PVC parts, but most of the stuff I picked up right there at Lowe's, and just went to town with it, and it came out great. The rest of everything, I think, in the whole cemetery this year is old news. It's all stuff from the past years. It's all old news. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about that junk.
It might not be old news to all the 20,000 new haunters.
So they're get a good look at my junk car, and the cemetery gates again, and they look so much prettier in the daylight. But no, you can see I've got a good-sized driveway, and unfortunately, it's a real pain in the ass to try and put tombstones up in the driveway.
Oh, I bet.
How do you keep them up?
I actually went to Lowe's and I bought a couple of sheets of really thin plywood, and I cut it into 1 foot by 1 foot squares. And I took dowel rods. I took like 1-inch dowel rods and cut them into short sections that I screwed up through the bottom of the plywood and made bases for all my tombstones. So you can see on the right-hand side of the picture all the tombstones that blew over.
Christopher Presley wants to know, SK, with your props, do you draw them out and blueprint them first, or do you just start building and see where it takes you?
I Pretty much, I usually see, I run with it.
No, you don't.
I-
You do draw.
I love hot couples. Yes.
I do a certain amount of planning. I mean, the big stuff. Hold on. The big stuff, the facade, that was methodically planned,
Yes.
and the cemetery gates, that was
methodically
planned. So they're bigger. They take a lot. I mean, you look at some of the smaller stuff that I build. I don't think about it. I just kind of do it, like the gravedigger here. There was no thought process behind that. I just screwed pieces of wood together and made it look like a person.
So what kind of lighting do you use, SK, on your house?
I know that. I mean, he pretty much lit the whole house up. And
It's freaking awesome.
It does.
I'm a stickler about the lighting. I think lighting is everything you can do. Lighting speaks a lot about the haunt. And I've got we've got a set from Darklight. I've got some of the Haunting FX mini spotlights, and we have just a shit ton of Spirit display lighting, because 2 years ago we hit Spirit right after Halloween, and we were able to buy all of this display lighting from the store. So we have LED spotlights in strings of 6 and 10.
Oh, the demo ones.
Yes, and they are fantastic. When I only have to plug one light in, it is so much better.
That's awesome.
I mean, you see the way the corn stalks on the left-hand side look. Those were all uplit from inside of the corn stalks.
That is cool.
It just looks so much better. And I didn't have what we had. There's no extension cords running all over the place.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I love those things.
Question from Todd Wilkins. How are you adjusting to the differences between SK's haunt style and your former Noble Manor haunt?
I didn't catch the first part of it.
How are you adjusting to the differences between SK's haunt style and your former Noble Manor haunt?
Ooh, good question.
That's a good question.
That is a good question, because
Why
when I
somebody trying
lived
to start some trouble?
when I lived in Arizona, I had a walkthrough through my garage.
Nice.
And I took the better part of October and I built that up, and then we also had the cemetery in the backyard. Well, I imagine when we finally build a walkthrough here, I'll have a lot more input into it.
Oh, yeah.
But when he designs something, it's his baby. And he just goes whole hog on it. And when, like with the cemetery gates, when those blew over, to watch his face just sink when we heard the thud out in the driveway.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, but what was my reply? Honestly, when we stood out there looking at that thing in a million pieces, what did I say?
Yeah, I could fix the base of that pillar now.
So that goddamn crooked base fell off, so now I can glue that on straight.
I think it's a lot different. I like the fact that I have somebody now that I'm able to work with, as opposed to just being me.
Yep.
Yeah, you got the Boast of Beth worlds right there. It's like, oh my god, you got like the walkthrough hunter, and then you got like the
You do have the Boast of Beth.
The Boast of Beth world.
The Boast of Beth world.
Frank.
Fuck you, Frank. I hate you every time you come on, damn it. I love you because you're so cute.
The one thing I do like, this last year, I was able to get my costume done in time. We got a lot of things we got done on time, which is almost unheard of in what we do. So I was able to go out with my costume and scare the heck out of kids.
She had so much fun with that thing.
Oh my gosh. It was funny because everybody kept saying I was Freddy Fazbear from Five Nights at Freddy, and I was like, who is that? I didn't even know.
That was a huge thing. I had to keep taking my 6th graders' phones away because I kept playing this stupid game in class. And then I started playing it, and then it was really bad because I didn't learn anything.
Well, the funny thing is that the teenagers are like, I love you, Friday! I'm like, what?
All right, we're gonna move on. I mean,
Restless Hollow.
Sam, do you got that written down now? It's like he's like,
what?
I didn't even get to finish through what. He's like, Restless Hollow. You know, they're waiting for you to mess up to have a drink. So
yeah. Okay. Wait. I'll say the last name again. It's Gustinella.
Oh my God.
Drink.
So this is a general look at our facade. Was this year? This was this year.
Yeah, this is this year.
Yeah, because we added the bathhouse there in the background, and the facades are big. How big is the Undertaker?
Yeah, the Undertaker is I think like 12 feet. Then the one we added this year, which is kind of off to the right, is the blacksmith. That's like 14 feet. We're kind of basically aiming to just hide the whole front of the house, so you kind of feel like you're in a western town. So each year we've been able to add enough that I think it was mostly covered this year.
Yeah, it was. Our poor UPS guy, we kept finding packages like throughout the town.
Yeah.
Put it on whatever port she came up to.
Seriously, yeah, there was a package sitting on the Undertaker there because you see the door there, and the package was just perfectly placed right in front of the door.
That's awesome.
He placed it and ran.
No, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
At one point, I think he got mad at us because didn't he say something like, "You used to have a gate here"?
Yeah, no, that was the mailman.
Oh, the
He got a
mailman.
little pissed off. Yeah, he wasn't
That's why
happy
you
about
need to have pneumatics ready for him next time.
Right, I know.
There you
Yeah, yeah. We need to do the guy in the stand-up coffin there to jump out at him or something.
Yeah.
Right. So that's pretty much like a whole facade. There's no like big structure to it. It's just
Right. Yeah, it all comes down into pieces.
facing.
It's all, each one is its own facade basically, and then they're all kind of linked together.
Yeah,
and
so
then
they're all
each
4x8 panels.
Yeah, they're each built to pretty much 4x8 panels.
So everything's modular.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we put it out in the shed in the backyard. Mostly.
Do you guys design it before you build it, or do you just kind of build it and go along?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I draw it out like on my computer and like 3D model it and everything.
He's way more
Hey,
meticulous.
he's a programmer, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone to hate.
I just start like
That's
hammering
hard.
things together. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What? It's fine."
Yeah, so the blacksmith one is we added that this year. That's the front. That covers our garage, and then on the inside there is where the shooting gallery set up. So that was pretty cool.
And in here you see the blacksmith, the Undertaker. Then we added the bathhouse this year,
Right.
and we have the witch's shack there on the end, which is a few years old now.
Yeah, I think that was the first big.
No jail.
You're right. Yeah, we built the jail one on the right, which was mostly out of foam. We first built that out of foam, and then we built the witch shack the next year. That was the first one we did out of like wood and stuff like that.
So the facade that looks like real wood, is it real wood or is it foam?
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, the blacksmith one, that's all like old fence boards. And
Yeah,
we got
it's our friend took
friends,
down their
yeah.
fence, so we took all the fence
Yeah,
boards.
we're like, we'll take it. So
It's heavy.
it is heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took what, 4 of us to get the
Four or
thing?
five,
4
yeah.
or 5 people to get it stood up, and then I anchored that thing to the house. Like, I was so worried about it falling down. So
We got the house painted like last week, and we're like, "Oh no."
yeah, now I don't know what to do because I was just used to just talking in
Right,
stories
right.
like, oh, let's add another one, and now I'm like, I don't know what to do about that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's another like cool thing about haunt couples. You know, like when Ryan goes, "Honey, we just painted the house, but I gotta anchor this big ass thing to the house, and it might mess it all up." And she's like, "Okay, dear." You know, that's the
Right.
difference. That's the
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah,
She's like,
yeah,
"Okay."
yeah, understanding.
There's understand that. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so here's another shot of the Undertaker. We use all LED lighting. I like those are the RGB LEDs. We get them in. They're like the sign light strips, and I buy a ton of them on like eBay and stuff. And then that way, basically each facade has its own little controller, like a manual controller, and you can press the little button on it and switch the colors out. So that's really nice. 'Cause that way we can kind of tinker around with it.
Is it the generic controller that comes with the RGB strip, or is it something that's haunt related?
It's an add-on one. It's like these little mini ones I found, and they have a plug on one side, and then you plug the power on the other side.
So it's like a plug and play, or do you have to
Pretty much,
wire in?
It's just a plug and play, yeah. So you've got your light strips with all your lights, and then basically however many modules I need on the facade, I solder those guys all together. The Undertaker one actually has 2 waterproof like wire connectors, so that way when the pieces come apart, I can just leave the LEDs mounted to it. And then basically on the end they plug into the little controller, and then you can switch it out, and it has little programs on it, so you can, if you wanted it to flash or switch between the colors, that kind of thing.
Sure.
So that's really fun because that way we can kind of tinker around.
So is that kind of like the boat LEDs that they sell on eBay?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I was kind of thinking this year might be kind of cool to try to maybe automate it and switch it out to like a DMX type system or something where you can control it with computers. But I don't know if I'll do that or not. But that'd be kind of neat too.
Are all your skeletons and stuff static in the facade, or do you have anything moving around?
The facade, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
In the shooting gallery, we have one that moves.
Yeah, that's the only one that
moves.
moves. Every year I want to like animate stuff, and I never get to it. Actually, last year I think I bought like 2 cylinders that I never got to. So maybe this year we can start adding some.
Well, last year we had so many storms and rain, like we kept having to
rebuild stuff. Yeah,
we had to put the bathhouse back up because one of those full panels you see.
Yeah, that bathhouse.
A wind gust came and just took the whole thing down.
And then
it just split.
Because the wood was so saturated from all the rain we'd been having, because I forget how much we got. It was nuts. So everything was soaked, and those are fence boards, so they were really heavy, and the thing basically just exploded.
All over.
Wow.
The shit hunters go through.
Sounds like you just.
Normal people just don't know.
Oh, yeah. We were sitting in the front room, we were watching, we were like, oh shit, it just lost the entire bathhouse.
There it goes.
I hope this question hasn't before. If it has, then you can all drink. But Jesse Anderson wants to know, is plan on expanding to a walkthrough for your haunt?
It would be pretty cool one year. I would love to do it. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, if we can find the room.
Yeah, because we had talked about maybe like we could potentially, if we wanted to go in the backyard, we could maybe do like a mine shaft kind of a thing, because we've got narrow walkways along the side, and maybe do like a mine shaft that takes you out into the backyard or something like that.
Backing around.
Yeah.
Yeah. This year, like I said, our big thing is to add more to the shooting gallery.
Right.
And then to do a photo booth. Those are kind of our interactive things.
Yeah.
Do you actually almost have a walkthrough almost?
Oh yeah, it's just outside.
Right, and we had talked about if we added, facades to the front, like we make double-sided facades into the front, because this is all up against our house, and we've got room in the front of that. So then we'd kind of have like an interior to our town, and that would basically give us a walk.
Yeah, we had talked about having like two guys shooting
like
each
a
other
little
and having
show
air
or
going
something.
around.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. We have lots of ideas.
Yeah.
So, what kind of controller are you going to use for the photo booth? Are you going to use like a Raspberry Pi?
Yep, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Raspberry Pi, and then they just came out with a new camera module for it. It's a lot better resolution. So I went ahead and ordered one of those, and then that way I can write a custom program for it to trigger our scare, and then trigger like a flash or whatever we want to do, and then hopefully link it into like our Facebook page and stuff like that.
That's the program right there.
Raspberry Pi getting ready to come out. It might already have it with it.
What was that?
There's an upgraded Raspberry Pi coming out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, it has a camera already on it?
I know it's got some built-in features, so you don't have to have the USB plug.
Nice.
Yeah, they just released the patent information on it, so I'm like, oh, I can't wait.
Nice, yeah, that's cool.
So for somebody like me that has no idea what the F you guys are talking about right now, I'm just getting hungry. That's about it. How easy is it from a layman's standpoint to do what you guys are talking about right now? I mean, is it literally something where you buy the components, you plug it in, and it goes, or
No, I've watched him do it over and over again. He's showing me everything. I'm like, oh, really? That's awesome. Oh, that's not okay. You're good.
No, Dan, it's not
fine.
simple.
Dan,
It's not simple.
Dan, if you don't want to do that, they've
background.
got the TerraTech board that you can buy that will allow you to use your phone to program it.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. I did know that.
Yeah. I was watching Ron's video last night, just watching some of that tech stuff, and I was just like going, what? I kept running it back. What?
Well, we do have one person who knows a little bit enough about this tech stuff to ask a question about it. Philip Lanehart wants to know for Ron about programming the differences between Raspberry and Arduino.
Well, okay, the Raspberry is basically a mini computer, so it has a lot more power to it. It has a lot more options, so you can use multiple programming languages. The Arduino is basically, it's like a microcontroller, and it has one language that you can use. So it's not as powerful. Like, it can't multitask. It's kind of like like you can tell it to do one thing, it does that, and then it does the next thing. A Raspberry Pi, you could have it do multiple things. So it could be triggering multiple props, for instance, at one time and playing different sound clips, where the Arduino is like, it has to do it in order. It can do it really fast, but it has to do it in order. If that makes sense to anybody but me, so we'll see.
Yeah, well, hey, Ryan, we're friends already, but we're closer friends now. It's like we're friends already, but we're closer friends now, and we're gonna move on and before we get into any more. Dan?
Yes.
Drink. Dan, I'm not sure yes was the reply he was looking for.
No.
I think we hit everybody? We hit everybody.
Okay, drink again.
Dan, you forgot to introduce me.
Oh, that's right.
No. Dan, it's a 5 and 5, brothers.
I think you're supposed to do more pictures there, Dan.
Five
Starting with Don and Mary.
Oh, yeah. We already did Don and Mary, didn't we?
Yeah, but
there's we only did 5 pictures.
5 pictures each person, and then 5 more pictures.
All right, let's do 5 more.
Everybody.
Fucking A.
Slow down, man. I'm almost out of drink here. So.
Margaret, I need a refill. Dan's hosting.
So this is the inside of the elevator. You're looking at it from, if you had walked in and turned around, so that's the outside door where the chandelier is. That's where you would walk into it. It's a walk in, walk out the same door, and you're looking up at the monitor up in the top right there, playing the video of the top of the elevator shaft.
Nate Dingman wants to know how many people are allowed in the elevator at once.
No more than 5. Usually, if it's 4 large adults, then that's pretty much it. But usually, it's between 2 and 3 adults, and usually about 2 to 3 kids.
Yeah, that's the reason why I didn't want to do a lot of advertising, because I didn't want to have the big line. We've had bigger crowds in the past when we advertised, but because of the elevator, it really limits how many people we can get in there.
Plus, you don't want to put too many people in a small closed-in space.
Yeah, they're already freaked out enough as it is, and I plan on freaking them out some more this year.
They get pretty freaked out.
Right. I mean, in the biggest thing about your guys' elevator that a lot of people don't know if they haven't gone to your YouTube page is you actually made a miniature elevator shaft by hand and like had a teeny little GoPro like rolled down this bitch and like with strings and stuff and videotape everything, which I've never seen any haunter ever do ever in my whole life. Which I was like totally like, oh my god, they're like going way out.
Well,
like bam.
We spent I don't know how much time building that elevator shaft, and then we took at least 3 different filming sessions just to get the film. And then, I'm talking with Jason Becker, and he's like, he sends me a video of something that he did where he took a picture of a brick thing, and then he just animated it, and it made it look like it was going. And I was just like, how long did it take you to do that? He's like, about 30 seconds. And I'm like, oh.
Ours has gotten here.
But
regarding
ours has
the
that
elevator,
top leveler, so.
Tim Thompson wants to know, from Tim Thompson, was the elevator the most complex thing you've ever done, and would you ever do something that complex again in the future?
I think it's probably the most complex thing. Yeah. Because, I mean, God, it took us 2 years just to get it so that we didn't have to shake it.
Technically, artistic. Yeah.
And we're still...
The artistic part of it was probably the model itself, because we wanted to make sure that everything looked correct, that it looked like an elevator shaft. you know, small details into it, like the electrical boxes and the area where it looked like the cabling system, and so we wanted it to look real.
Right.
And then actually building the thing was a while.
Right,
and
so
it's still
definitely go through their videos and go through their YouTube, and they will show you what they went through to make this miniature ass shaft look like a real elevator shaft. So that's
Not an
amazing
ass shaft.
to me. This ass shaft.
Tell Tim Thompson that he can't win a prize. He has too many props.
Right. And they're all store bought too, so that is even like a.
Oh.
The thing about the elevator is that it's not done, because I keep wanting to add more stuff, and I mean we don't even it's manually operated as far as the door goes. It's not set up where the door opens automatically, and I've seen everybody else that's built them has got where they push the button, the door opens up. We haven't even got to that yet, but it's kind of fun to just like open it up ourselves and scare people at the same time, because they're not expecting us to do that, and we just slam that door open, you know, and you reach your floor, you know, kind of a thing, and they're like, ah, you know.
Well, and the nice thing about having the model too is we can change up the video too on it. We can change it to do whatever we want.
I keep talking about redoing the model at some point to change the elevator, so we'll see if I ever do that.
Now this is a picture of the hallway just as you come out of the elevator and then turn left to go actually into the hotel.
Yeah, that's the portrait hall, we call it. It's got pictures on the wall with the video screens behind it and the atmosphere videos playing and stuff. And
do you guys have any other stairs, like drop panels or anything like that are within the haunt, or is it just eye candy?
This was
a lot of eye candy. There's some stairs.
we had in this year's haunt, we didn't have any drop panels. It was mainly actor kind of being in their spot scares, and we built a TV with a pop-up out of it that was kind of a startle scare thing. But we in this setup right here, no drop panels at this time.
Right. I mean, and a lot of things that people got to realize that they really don't realize is like with when Steve had his garage haunt and you have your garage haunt. I mean, people don't realize that you guys make the most out of the little space that you have and make it look like a mass, you know, make it look like a big haunt, and with all the detail, you literally like trick people into going to a whole other world. I mean, it's like, I mean, and that doesn't leave room for drop panels for people to be behind. That doesn't leave it room for like props to go off. It doesn't leave room for that. But you guys actually take your garage and make it look like a bigger haunt than it actually is, and that's where I'm jealous that because I gotta have like people behind the walls, and it's like you guys just like do it perfectly.
Yeah, because those walls, not all those walls you see are even 3 inches thick. Some of them are only an inch thick because we've got a piece of luan, and then we've got a 1x2 laid flat, and then there might be a piece of luan on the other side, or it may just be open. So
right. Don't realize if you walk through if they walk through your guys' haunt, you're like, oh, they must, that's a nice haunt. Is that no? This is like a garage that you don't even realize. This is a garage, man.
Yeah. Now this right here, this was the thing that to me was the best thing that we had in our whole haunt. I mean, this went over the elevator.
Makes the garage look like not just a garage, right?
This was there was a hallway that we weren't using because we can't send anybody down because they hit the end of the garage. So we were in one of the Halloween stores, and I saw this really cheesy thing of a staircase, and I looked at Mary and I says, I want you to paint me a staircase. And she was like, huh? And so I gave her an idea, and she went ahead and painted it. And the thought that I had was I wanted to project one of the images that I got from Spectral Illusions of that librarian, but because I don't have a lot of throw on and I don't have one of those big gigantic projectors, when I project it, it only comes out about a foot, and that looks kind of cheesy when you're projecting on the wall and the thing's only a foot high when it's supposed to be 4 foot or 5 foot high. So with this, we went ahead and Mary painted that, and then I set it up with the camera up on top to make it look like the ghost was at the top of the stairs.
That's cool.
And the coolest thing about that was that I was letting people out of the elevator on the new floor they were coming to, and they were literally asking me, do we go up those stairs, or do we go this way? So we had some luggage that was in the doorway, so they wouldn't walk in there, and then the grandfather clock and a light, and then those stairs that Mary just painted on a piece of Luan. And when people were sitting there asking, it kept everything in my power not to break character and go, what? You know, because they thought they were real stairs.
Well, see, the thing is, they don't really, you know, and that's another thing, if you go back through all the videos, they don't really know Mary's capacity of, like, detail and, like, doing walls, and, you know, she's like, you got, like, the best partner right there, is, like, as far as haunting goes, dude. She's like, you're like, okay, I want this scenery, I want this. She's like, step away.
Yes.
Let me take care of it. You go get your moving stuff going. Let me do my thing. And you guys have, like, the perfect...
And that was actually my first foray into scenic painting this year. That was only my second scenic painting I'd ever done.
Yes, I was so proud of her with that. That's probably my favorite part of the entire haunt, was that
Right.
staircase.
I mean, like, all the pictures we're showing you, especially, like, this one right here, this is just in their little garage.
Yeah.
What part of the haunt is this?
You feel like it's a whole big-ass haunt, and
This is on the other side. So you were coming down the portrait hall. At the end of the portrait hall, if you turn to the right, you saw the stairs. You turn to the left, you go through a doorway, and then there's a room that had the hallway room with different doors, and that's where we had the TV with the pop-up.
Okay.
And then this is at the end of that hall. The door that you see in the distance is the back of the elevator, so that's like where all the electronics are, and the back of the elevator is back behind that. And then you come around through here, and this was the laundry room area.
Maintenance area.
Yeah.
So that was the shelf that we had bought brand new this year, and I went ahead and aged it, took a bunch of stuff, made it look like it was laundry stuff and cleaning materials and just extra stuff that was on the shelving. The laundry, as you're looking at the picture, is over your back right-hand shoulder, and then basically there's a chest of drawers that's over your shoulder on the left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I'm drunk because I was like looking. I looked over my shoulder. I was like,
See, we took you to a different world already. You're already immersed.
And I'll tell a real quick funny story. Behind is the double stacked washer that I made. I basically did a simple little facade with a couple of video screens. And we got this free washing machine that we threw a bunch of heads in and threw some perma-blood in there and a bunch of water, and then I swished it around and videotaped it. And we had those going around in there. And it's funny because Tara was over there helping out that year that she was there, was when I was filming that. We were that close to Halloween. So you can hear Tara and Mary talking in it, and it's still when it's going, and I'm out in the haunt by myself.
Sounds like
I hear
ghostly
these
voices.
distant voices, and it's still to this day kind of like, oh yeah, that it kind of freaks me out. Oh, that's right, that's them.
Still creepy. What about this here? I love this
the
one.
maintenance hall going out of the laundry area to the exit. The garage door is down there at the end where they exited out.
Yeah.
But this is your pipe hallway where all the hot water for the laundry and stuff is going, the chains, the maintenance area where the tools are kept. I just hung a bunch of chain, painted this. Dawn actually has the drop pipe. You can see it at the very top towards the middle of the screen.
Yeah, we brought back the drop pipe. People like that, so we brought that.
I like the drop pipe.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it had a spitter in it.
And you got to go to the YouTube page, and they'll show you how to do that drop pipe. So,
do you guys cover? You guys cover the whole haunt in the ceilings at least?
Yeah.
Or no?
That year, yes, for the hotel theme, we actually Dawn basically put in 2x4s to make it look like beams, and then I carved foam to make it look like broken ceiling panels.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not all completely covered because we need little places to get into and stuff, but we try to keep the lighting down and then with those broken panels, and then Mary kind of carved into them and stuff. So we were trying to kind of go for that that look of the broken ceiling like we saw in the Haunt House videos.
Yeah.
But we didn't quite get that elaborate with it yet.
Yet.
Not yet. New year. All right, guys, we're gonna move on to Dan.
Move over to Steve's Haunted Yard.
Shit, he's just like right on it now.
That's because we're all getting out of liquor.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a little bit better shot of a bigger portion of the yard. I don't know if you guys see that figure in the middle. That was actually Julie. That was her costume for Halloween.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So she's standing in the middle of the yard for that photo, which was pretty cool because with her just standing still in the middle of the yard there, she would just start walking really slow towards the fencing, and it was pretty freaky. So
it looks pretty freaky right there.
yeah, we both wore pretty much solid black, and we're just totally blacked out. And we actually went to a Halloween party like that and sat in the corner and didn't move, and people kept coming in, like new people, and they thought we were static props in the corner, and then we'd stand up and freak everybody out. It was pretty fun.
Oh, here's a picture of the hearse. Here's the hearse.
Yeah, so there's
the hearse.
That's Maud. She's a '62 Cadillac Miller Meteor three-way Landau. It's a pretty rare car because it's what's called a three-way. It actually has a trimatic bed in it. It has an electric bed that the coffin goes on, and it can electrically go out the two left doors, the two right doors, or out the back. And you don't really see a whole lot of those around. So we don't know if the bed works yet. We haven't gotten that far with it. All the electronics are there, and everything's there. All the pieces are there, but
Now,
still haven't gotten it.
Does that run on a Raspberry Pi or an Arduino?
I think it's the Raspberry Pi thing or something.
Yeah, it has to be the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was fun to have the hearse in the haunt. You know, it was kind of fun to have that there. So.
Oh, there's a daylight picture.
Here's a daylight shot. I try to. A lot of people, when they come to the yard during the day, I want the yard to look just as real or detailed in the day as it is at night.
Amen, man. That's what I say too. It should look as good in the daytime as it does at night, I think.
Yeah. You got the windows blacked out. How did you do that?
Well, those are black screens that are on the house all year long. It's for heat, keep the heat out for Texas. I took the one screen off because I put a sheet in the window and I had a projection in there in that window. Okay. It looks really funky though, and that's one of the things that kind of bothered me. One of my other goals this year, which I think I probably have too many projects, but I really want to do some Gothic window coverings over those windows to kind of match the facade this year. That may go for next year if I want to do the horse. I kind of want to do the horse now more than I want to do the windows.
Two horses.
No, one horse, Diablo.
Dude, two horses.
One.
Hey, because once you do one, you're like, that's badass. You're like, I want to do another one, but
should have done another one.
I don't want to go through it again.
I don't have enough space for two horses.
Hey, Steve, you got all the pieces, then we put them all together to make and take for the whole group.
That's right.
Hey, make and take at Ron and Lori's house.
There we go.
Yeah. Perfect.
And this, of course, is just a photo up close of one of the details. This is actually a little small display that's on top of that above ground crypt that squeaks really loud that Don makes fun of me about.
See, we get to enjoy it because it's not squeaking.
Yeah. Man, I have tried all kinds of things to keep that from squeaking, and I can't figure it out.
Don's gonna come over and help you.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out this year.
That's
All
a
right.
cool picture.
And yeah, the hearse is in the background. I had some extra fencing. The way I did my fencing this year, I actually had some extra left over, and I'm like, hey, I got extra fencing, so I made a small display by the hearse, which worked out. I hardly ever buy store-bought props other than like skeletons and skulls. And I saw that Grim Reaper at Home Depot this year, and I just absolutely fell in love with it and was like, this is the coolest freaking store-bought prop I've ever seen. I walked past it, and he lunged at me, and he actually says stuff that's not cheesy. His voice is actually evil, and he goes, it's your time, and like lunges at you. And I bought it, and it was like a display model, so I got it for like, I think like half of what it was. I got it for like $60, I think, like
that's
50
nice.
or $60. And so I put that there, and I didn't want people to jack with it, because you know how kids will destroy your shit.
Yeah.
So I put the fencing around it, and the air cannon was actually in between the Grim Reaper and that skeleton. So they had to walk in between this fencing and then the cemetery fencing, and so that's where Otto was getting them with the air blaster right there. So that was a lot of fun. Oh man, I know, man. I'm like, hold back, buddy.
Easy killer. All right, we're gonna move on next. Dan.
We are moving on to the haunting grounds.
Oh, he's right on point now. More gets drunk, he's like right on. What the fuck?
I love you, Diablo.
So this is our cauldron creep.
And the witch.
And the witch. The witch, I think, was my second static full-figured prop, and I absolutely hate her right now. I really do. Which is why I'm building the Swamp Witch. Because I need something that's better. But I had a lot of fun building her, but her arms fall off all the time. It's terrible. This is absolutely terrible. Every time I try and move her, the friggin' arms fall off.
Dude, I've been there, and I feel your pain, dude.
Nobody wants a paraplegic witch.
Yes, I feel your pain. So we're gonna move on because I'm feeling your pain right there. It's like,
this is hilarious.
Damn witch.
Yeah, this year.
What are we looking at here?
I went through and airbrushed a stone walkway onto my driveway.
I've never seen a hunter do that before.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Wow.
Still out there.
It didn't wash away this winter. Nope, it's still there. I have a stone walkway in the middle of my driveway.
We just got a call from the guy that does the tarring of the driveways, and he's like, "Yeah, it's about time to do that." And I'm like,
"Yeah, good. We can cover that up."
Do we really want to, though?
Yeah, I know, because at least now I know exactly where the facade of the gates go.
I'm like looking at it going, not.
There, brush it again.
See, that's the difference between haunt couples and not. My wife, I did a bunch of distressing on some facade walls and stuff like that out on our sidewalk, and there is stained black and grays and greens all on the sidewalk. And I said, "Don't worry, honey, it'll wash off." Didn't wash off, and she
No, it don't wash off, man. But look at his shit, dude. But look at his shit, though.
It wasn't gonna wash off. Are you kidding me? I was just saying that.
Right. But he actually like did some shit people will pay for.
Yep. Yeah, right.
And the thing that's funny about this is that's just acrylic craft paint.
Damn.
It doesn't wash off anything.
Is that one of those things that you make stones with that you use for the pattern, or did you freehand all those?
Yeah, no.
That was the pattern that I used for my haunt walls back in Arizona.
Yeah, she's got that little stamper thing.
Yeah.
So I just laid that out and sprayed the the gray, and then I pulled them up and just outlined with the black and the white.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That looks really good, man.
There's another shot of those beautiful cemetery gates.
Hmm.
I thought it was in your driveway.
This was when he first finished it.
How do you keep that like attached to the ground? Obviously.
Oh, you're hitting at a sore part.
I'm going to. I've got to ask the question.
Everybody drink because Dan did it again.
No. I want to know how he modified it so it doesn't fall on the ground.
This is a funny topic. After that thing fell over and shattered, and Cody and I spent a couple of days and figured out how to mend broken PVC.
Yeah. Watch the vlog that SK did on how to mend broken PVC. It's pretty damn awesome how he did that.
But once we got this all fixed, we put it. I wanted to tie it to something. Now on the one side of the driveway, I have, our fence or our railing for the steps that I can tie it to, and I have the fence that we can tie it to. The other side, I had nothing. So I got out my little air hose and I cleaned out the gap between my next door neighbor's foundation and my driveway, and then I gorilla glued eye bolts.
Nice.
I gorilla glued eye bolts into that seam, in front and behind that, so that I could actually secure it.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
There's our ex guy right
See,
there.
that was a good question. That was a good question.
Yep. See, there we have our gravedigger repurposed with his head and hatchet.
Yep.
And our witch again, with her frickin' arms.
That damn witch. That damn witch.
that damn witch. And I just did a video where I finished up doing our Death's Head tombstone, and I had talked about the fact that all of our original stones were done with a Dremel. All but the one on the very left. All of those are the original stones that I made back, I don't know, in 2008. And I still keep using them. I've never had to repaint them. Everybody asks, how do you preserve the painting on your stones? I don't. There's nothing. I just painted them. It's just acrylic craft paint, and it stays.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's it.
All right, Dan.
Moving on to Restless Hollow, second round of pictures.
Are you like thinking that out and like just like staring like?
He's not listening to anything anybody says. He's on what's coming next.
So he's been like eating the whole show.
Thank you, man.
He's gonna have a snack beforehand. He's like,
hey Dan.
Yeah.
Do you also go by the name Piff by any chance? Since you're always
all right, here we go.
All right, here's the shooting gallery we were talking about. This is inside the garage. We built, I think there's...
15? Was there 15 targets?
Yeah, there's like 15 targets. Each one of those little LEDs is a target. And then we built that little counter there in the front. It has the 2 guns there. Each gun has one of those little Arduino microprocessors. And basically, like, the kids would get a certain number of shots, and they'd go around. And then the little skeleton guy there in the front, he's the one that would pop up. He's on a pneumatic.
Well, everything did stuff, like the little bell
right.
dings when you hit it, and the saw moves, and the cat meows, and the lights go off, and the pumpkins go off. So everything had something that it did to let them know that they had hit it, and it made a little sound in their speakers.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and it had a little gunshot sound and all that stuff. So.
And we had a rifle and a pistol.
That is so awesome.
Pistol was a lot heavier than the rifle.
Look at that.
Yeah, the pistol was like a actual like replica, like non-firing replica gun, which is cool. But the problem is it was really heavy, so the kids had a hard time.
They couldn't hold it up.
Little rifle, like a cap gun, and then modified that for the other one, so that worked out really well. And yeah, it's just like a picture of the people playing that, and they definitely had a good time.
Yeah, they had a good time.
How deep is it?
It is 8 feet deep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's like basically 2 panels, 4x8 panels, or 4x7, so it could fit under the garage door.
How accurate did they have to be on that, Ron? Did you just set it up so it's pretty much if they got anywhere near it, it would go, or?
It depended on the gun, because it was all there's an infrared LED inside the barrel of the gun, and I could only get it, so accurate. So each one depended, but they had to be pretty darn close. Like, my goal was to make it so that it wouldn't trigger multiple targets if they were close together. So I got it down to probably 6 inches on either side of the target to be able to trigger it.
We only had our friend Lisa was able to hit all of them through one shot. She was able to hit everyone, and she was the only one I think who did it. Yeah.
That's so awesome.
It was really cool.
It was fun, yeah.
I want to come over and play at your house.
If we end up moving, whoever buys this house is screwed next year. They're going to be like, where's all the shit? They're going to get eggs so bad.
And this is just a little behind the scenes of each target, each prop has one of these things. So you've got the little target there.
Oh, wow.
Those are plastic acrylic discs that I found on eBay. I drilled out 2 holes in it, put the LED, there's an infrared receiver, and then that little wire runs out to the board, and that's an Arduino there, and then each prop would plug into it to get the power. And then there's another one on there that I had hooked up originally to do separate sound, and I never got to that. But each prop in the shooting gallery has one of those little board
See,
setups.
he's all fancy. I paint stuff.
Dude, that's how we're all looking right now. We're going,
He'd call me in and he'd be like, I don't know why this is working. Do you think it's this? I'm like, yeah, that's probably totally what it is.
Right, bastard.
Yeah, the resistor on that thing like that.
Don't cut the blue wire. Don't.
God, you and Greg would have a field day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I like tinkering around with all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet we can tell. We're going to go on to the prizes, and Julie's going to name off the prizes and who won today.
Okay, great. Winner, chicken dinner. Okay, Brad, you ready?
I'm all set.
Okay, let's do this. Okay. So the winner of Froggy's Fog, 1 gallon of fog juice, is Kelsey Stevenson. The winner of the FFFX mask is Donald Garza. The winner of the Sam Haines Spine Chillers CD download is Christopher Arnaud. The winner of the I Love FX makeup kits, we have 2 winners. One is Callie Derbaro, and the other is Lydia Rossi.
Ooh.
The winners of the Fright Props firecrackers, we have 2 winners. One is Harold Kynes and Trish Redding. And the winner of the Hunt shirt is Anna Martin. And I'll post this in the comments. Please contact me, Julie Rydell, by tomorrow to claim your prize.
Otherwise, we'll move on. No,
Yes,
I'm
we
joking.
will.
I'm joking. All right, but definitely come back and go through everybody's channel. Most of the guests here are like old school YouTubers, and they, this is where they actually step by step everything they did. So definitely go back and watch all their stuff. We want to thank all the guests for coming on. We only have a few shows left, so then it's going to be hunt season. We want to thank everybody for coming on. We want to thank Dan for hosting.
Thanks for having me.
Good work, Dan.
Good work, Dan. You got everybody drunk, so we want to thank everybody, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
See you
guys.
Awesome job, guys.
Bye.